nanotechnology the most sustainable answer to combat the black tears of the sea? This is a very complicated question, so to answer it, we need to start from scratch. Danger lurks off our beaches, and hardly anyone knows what a terrible condition exists. Weapons of war in our oceans are presenting a huge problem to our ecosystems right now. During World War II, numerous ships were shut down, with a lot of oil within their tanks. The threat they present is far more dangerous than other oil spill catastrophes we have encountered. These have been constantly deteriorating through time, approximately 70 years, and their tanks are constantly dropping oil that is damaging our oceans and coasts. There are over 6,000 ships sunk in the water, and some of them are representing a great menace. Many respected scientists have warned that oil must be pumped in a matter of urgency on those few sunken ships. There is little time to safely cast out the black tears of the sea, and very few countries are willing to act. It is practically possible to extract oil out of these wrecks, but it is very difficult because of the instability of the ships and the costly undertaking. The steel walls of some of the wrecks require only minor vibrations to open because of the decades of corrosion in the seawater. Some of them are now leaking oil, little droplets that are damaging our environment.
As we just mentioned, this is a very big problem we all are facing. And if we don't do something now, more oil will be spilled, provoking a great and a negative change to our ecosystem. Many people have been trying to eliminate and separate the oil from the water and preventing more to be spilled. But this is a very big problem, not just for only a few people. This is a problem all around the globe, so we need to do something big. There have been attempts to remove the oil from the ocean using some methods that we'll talk about of them later in the video, but for some reasons they weren't so effective. So after a lot of research, we came to the conclusion that the best way to remove the black tears of the sea was by the use of nanotechnology, more specifically the nanotubes. Nanotubes are tubular molecules composed of a large number of carbon atoms. These carbon atoms are organized in a cylindrical network of hexagons that makes them withstand more mechanical stress, high temperatures, and enormous pressures. These modern tubes are made up of 90% air, which allows them to be extremely light. Also, they have properties of absorption, making them able to absorb up to 100 times its own weight in oil.
Nanotubes are nanodevices that can convert energy into motion for the purpose of performing various tasks. These microtubes can provide an environmentally friendly and efficient alternative for dealing with oil spills. This is why we are all so interested. Unlike these persons, which separates the oil slick and transfer the oil deep into the sea. The problem is there. The oil is still in the water. Now, nanomotors have the potential to capture, transfer, and remove oil droplets from water. Remove the oil from water. This is what we are looking for. Aside from corrosion difficulties, these machines have a tendency to be slow after collecting the oil droplets. But these are just details, little details that can be fixed in the process of the industrialization of this amazing invention. The use of nanomotors to remedy oil spills is just starting, but it is clear that the examples at hand could have serious applications in water treatment, oil spill control, and could potentially revolutionize the field of environmental remediation.
Now it's time to talk about other methods to control oil spills. According to the USEPA, which stands by the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the most common oil spill control methods are mechanical contention, biological and chemical agents that are used as dispersants, and gelling agents. In 2010, in the Gulf of Mexico, the biggest and most catastrophic oil spill in the history of the United States occurred, and to contain and combat it, almost 7.6 million liters of dispersants were used. What dispersants do is to break down the oil into small pieces, just like the soap in your kitchen does to the grease. And the problem with this is that the oil does not disappear, it just becomes smaller, small enough to make the zooplankton eat it, and the zooplankton dies, and when this happens, the whole food chain falls apart with them. Certainly, dispersants are not the only solution to oil spills, but the other methods are not perfect either. According to Nancy Kimmer, certainly controlled burnings, contained barriers, skimmers, and other tools are preferable than using chemicals at the sea. However, mechanical methods are only useful when there is good weather, and rarely surface spills rarely exceed 10% of the recovery. What we can conclude from this information is that conventional methods to control oil spills have important deficiencies, and these deficiencies could be solved by the implementation of nanotechnology.
We concluded is that the black tears is a pretty serious threat that we're living along the way, but it's really ruining our whole world. From boats and ships sunk in the middle of the sea, to the death of all the fauna. These black tears are not new for us. They have been in our lives for quite a while now, and we haven't done anything to solve them. Until now. Just record our history. This is not a joke and there is a solution. Why shouldn't we do it? This is why we think the nanotubes are the best possible solution to this horrible threat. Their capabilities are in large amounts, as we explained before. And the benefits of using nanotubes are just so much more than using other methods. Living along the nanotubes, we have to be conscious of what's going on in all over the world, a real threat to our existence. Either we use them or not, it is a fact that we need to do something to prevent this possible crisis. The whole world is on it. Let's change our future.